Hey, what is happening? Today we're back in downtown Miami. Today we are going to be walking down 8th Street. We are going to be walking east towards Biscayne Boulevard. So let's go check out what 8th Street is all about. So if you were wondering about 7th Street, I haven't forgotten, but as you see right here, this is what we have for 7th Street. So there's a little bit like that as well on the other side approaching Biscayne. So right here, Sawyer's Walk, pretty much a walkable area on 7th Street. So not much to see here. 7th Street is kind of non-existing. So let's continue on 8th Street. So again, we are here on 8th Street making our way down towards Biscayne Boulevard. So on my future videos, you'll see right here, this is where 95 kind of veers to the left. So on my other videos, we'll be up to Northwest 2nd Avenue. So it'll be right up to this street. So let's make our way down towards Biscayne Boulevard. Again, if you get off the highway, kind of see all the developments that are happening. Make sure you check out my other videos so you can see Miami Central Station. We just walked by there on the other streets. And Overtown has some very nice historical churches as well as theaters. So we can see one of the churches here. Again, as of right now, Overtown is one of the only areas left in downtown Miami where it's kind of low-income housing sections there. After the Miami Design District, we do have a little Haiti with some additional low-income housing there. And then there are other areas moving up north and west, but right in downtown, kind of the only thing that we have left is Overtown. Otherwise, you know, there's not really low-income housing left anywhere else in the city. So again, as you see kind of everything that's happening in downtown, Miami World Center and the Paramount Building, which is what we see beyond here, is kind of the last piece of land that's available. And I'm sure that very soon the developers will start to push towards this area, towards the Overtown area, in order to start building more and more and make this real estate push further west and north. Once we get to the Design District, well, after we pass the Arts and Entertainment District, you'll see Edgewater, which is up there. And you kind of see what will happen, but you can kind of already start to see some of these nicer buildings going up here in this area and everything that is happening here. So I think we are, you know, probably less than a decade away from seeing some of buildings that are older like this one. Obviously the churches usually stay in place, but some of these older buildings will probably get taken over and start to be redesigned and redeveloped into something more modern and more mixed use. So again, as we make our way down 8th Street, we see some of our theaters here. So Lyric Live, there's a lot of events that they do in this theater. And again, this is a perfect example. This is a historic theater, so that's why it remained here. But obviously you see this development here on your left, which was some older building, probably very typical to this building in the corner, kind of this concrete 50s, 60s jungle. And it was demolished, and then they built this whole thing here, which is obviously right now for lease. So probably going to be multiple offices, multiple mixed use, restaurants, etc. So again, it's still early. As you see, they haven't even finished construction. Still doing the sidewalks, and the inside is fairly in good shape. But again, what will happen is a lot of these places will start to fill up, and then we'll start to get the phone calls saying, hey, you know, I'm looking to lease a building here. And then all of a sudden, instead of being, you know, $35, $40 a square foot for the year for the lease, now you're in the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, or like some of Brickell, you might be even higher than that. So again, we have the Miami-Dade Transit building here, as well as the courthouse. To our right, this is what you're seeing. So this smoke pipe that we're going to be walking by next is actually the backup generators. So you'll see a lot of the buildings here, by code, they have backup generators to run in case of, you know, we do have hurricanes that pass by Miami. So most of the newer buildings will have these backup generators that will allow power, mostly for the common areas, for several days to run here if we ever lose power. But we've been lucky the last few years. Nothing really bad has come through the downtown Miami area at least. And as we approach here again, this is kind of what you see from Miami Central Station to your right. That's the Madeira building that was just completed ahead of us. And then we have the Paramount, which is the part of the Miami World Center development that's happening there. So here, this building complex is actually very large. I believe it's almost 2,000 units, residential rental units between, I think it's either 4 or 5 buildings. Again, I mostly focus on commercial, but you know, always have to be on top of what's going on residential-wise. Because again, what drives commercial? People drive commercial. If you don't have people living here in the city, if you don't have people coming to the city, doing whatever they're gonna do, then it doesn't matter how many offices or how many other things we build, who's gonna occupy them? You know? It's all about the people. So again, as we pass an empty tract of land, this is part of that whole, you know, Miami World Center development. So it looks like it's empty, but it's already under development, it's already under planning. There's something planned to be there. You know, 20, 30 years ago, somebody would have mentioned to you that this was going to be downtown Miami, and it might have been a pretty distant, crazy thought, but here we are, you know, 2019. The developers have continued to develop. Obviously, the American Airlines Arena was put right here into downtown. There's a lot of exciting new developments that are past the planning stages. You know, some of them are in the initial construction stages, some of them are already being constructed. Some of them are awaiting final permits. So there's just so much going on in downtown. It's crazy. You know, we've seen what happened in Brickell and kind of how that area has completely transformed in 10 years. If you want to get in downtown Miami, it's now. You know, don't wait 5 years to see prices that are going to be as expensive, and maybe not as expensive as New York and LA and some of these other places, because historically speaking, Miami has been more affordable than New York and LA, but sooner than later, I'm telling you, our pricing is going to be competitive. It's going to be up there. It's going to be a question of, do you want to be in LA and pay the California tax? Do you want to be in Miami and pay the Florida, or not pay any Florida state income tax? Because again, that's one of the things that a lot of people migrate to Florida for. A lot of people open their businesses here because of that. You know, or do you want to be in New York? Obviously for tax purposes, Florida is much more friendly towards businesses than New York is. And also the weather, you know. Who doesn't like to be in Miami in middle of January or February when you have snowstorms going on in New York or Boston or all these other colder states. So again, we're coming up on the Paramount building and American Airlines Arena, Bayside area, all that area. Make sure you check out my other videos if you haven't seen what those areas look like. Of course, some of these roads are under construction, so looks like I might not be able to make it all the way to Biscayne. But if you watch the beginning of this video, you'll kind of get a sense of what that area looks like. And again, there's kind of just an empty parking garage, sorry, an empty parking lot that's there right now that is being used by the Miami-Dade Wolfson campus. And again, when they have events in Miami Airlines Arena, they'll use that for parking as well. So yeah, and it looks like I'm right. So they have the street closed off because obviously they're doing some street work, some utility work. So that's it. Paramount Miami, part of Miami World Center. Here we have the Freedom Tower, Freedom Tower, American Airlines Arena. We have the parks. Flip this around, say goodbye to you. So that was it. We walked down 8th Street. I showed you a little bit of 7th Street. 7th Street, there's not much there. As you saw, it's just a little piece in the beginning. And there's also a very similar section here to our right that's coming up. So that's what's happening in downtown Miami. Make sure you check out my other videos. We'll continue to bring you content, show you what's happening, show you some of the opportunities available. We need you here in Miami. If you have a business, if you're looking to relocate, if you're looking to come here with your families, now is the time to come. Don't wait 5-10 years to say, man, I should have taken that opportunity when Max brought it up to me. You know, make the move now. Stop waiting, you know. Everything is lined up for you to make your footing here in Miami. You know, we just had the tax laws that changed in 2018. 2019 is here. You know, we still have the tax benefits if you're looking to come here from Miami in comparison to some other states. So just move, make the move, you know, make the jump, expand your business, start your business, do whatever you got to do. And I'll see you on the next video.